Welcome to this explainer. We're jumping right into a massive multi-jurisdictional turf war that's brewing right now over the physical infrastructure required to power artificial intelligence. It's a really fascinating clash, and it involves everyone from the White House all the way down to your local town council.
To actually understand the sheer scale of this conflict, we need to look at one staggering number: $64 billion. To put that into perspective, that is the total value of U.S. data center projects that have been completely blocked or delayed in just the last 2 years alone. What was once quietly accepted as essential digital plumbing is now a national flashpoint, and communities across the country are pushing back hard.
We're facing this really fundamental paradox. You and I experience AI as this invisible, weightless, seamless software magic. But the physical reality? It's incredibly resource-heavy. AI requires gigawatt power demands, absolutely massive water consumption for cooling, and a sprawling industrial real estate footprint.
So today, we're going to break this sprawling battleground down into 5 logical pieces: the AI infrastructure paradox, the federal gas pedal, state-level pushback, local NIMBY flashpoints, and finally, the courtroom collision.
Starting right off with Section 1, the AI infrastructure paradox and the physical toll of AI. Let's look at why these facilities are suddenly sparking nationwide controversy.
Well, the pushback is driven by very tangible local impacts. We're seeing massive electricity demands that literally threaten to raise everyday residential utility bills. There's high water consumption, which is obviously alarming in drought-prone regions. Plus, residents are dealing with noise and air pollution from heavy-duty backup generators, not to mention the loss of agricultural land and green space. And when you factor in that these warehouse-sized facilities create relatively few permanent local jobs, it totally challenges that old narrative that tech development is always an automatic win for local economies.
Which brings us to Section 2. The federal gas pedal and centralizing oversight. Because while localities are getting nervous, the federal government is desperately trying to clear the runway for rapid AI expansion.
The administration has moved at absolutely breakneck speed to centralize AI regulation. Look at the timeline here. December 11, 2025, President Trump signs a sweeping AI executive order. Fast forward just 1 month to January 2026, and the Department of Justice launches an AI litigation task force. By April, that same task force is actively intervening in a lawsuit against the state of Colorado. The federal government is aggressively challenging state laws they think get in the way of national innovation and security.
The crucial point to take away here is that the White House views this patchwork of state and local rules as a direct barrier to global competitiveness. The federal directive is explicitly aimed at unifying oversight and slashing fragmented regulations. Basically, they're hitting the gas pedal on development to ensure the U.S. wins the global AI race.
Moving right along to Section 3, state-level pushback and protecting resources. Because while the feds are signaling a massive green light, the states are pumping the brakes to protect their own borders.
States are fighting back using 3 main tactics. First, outright moratoriums. Places like New York, Maine, South Dakota, and Oklahoma are just pausing construction entirely to figure out the impacts on their utility grids. Second, states like Virginia and Georgia are actively moving to repeal or reduce those massive tax incentives that originally brought data centers there in the first place. And third, they're instituting special energy rates to make sure the tech giants themselves pay for the necessary grid upgrades.
A really perfect example of this is Virginia's newly approved GS5 tariff. This rule requires large data centers to pay 85% of transmission capacity costs during the ramp-up phase, even if their actual power usage is initially lower. It represents a massive shift toward a strict cost causation framework. Basically, states are making sure everyday families don't end up subsidizing the enormous energy appetites of tech companies.
All right, Section 4. The local NIMBY flashpoint, where communities push back. Now resuming all the way into the local brick wall. Data centers have essentially become the absolute newest frontier for NIMBY, or not in my backyard, opposition.
And what is completely shattering our typical political expectations right now is the incredibly bipartisan nature of this pushback. When you actually look at the elected officials opposing these large data center projects, the split is 55% Republican and 45% Democrat. It's uniting red and blue communities alike. Now, they might be arriving at the exact same conclusion, which is, let's block these projects, but their motivations often differ. Republican concerns generally center on opposing massive tax abatements, protecting property rights, and avoiding strain on the energy grid. Democratic concerns, on the other hand, tend to focus heavily on environmental impacts, high water consumption, and preserving green space. Together, though, it creates this incredibly powerful cross-party alliance of local resistance.
And we are seeing real, tangible political casualties at the local level because of this. In Warrenton, Virginia, an entire pro-data center town council got voted out by angry residents. Over in Cascade Locks, Oregon, voters successfully recalled Port Authority officials who supported a massive project. And in Prince George's County, Maryland, intense community opposition forced a broad pause on all local development. It goes to show that residents can, and absolutely will, use the ballot box to stop these facilities.
Which leads us to our final section, Section 5, the courtroom collision between federal and state powers. This is the active legal battleground where the state protections and federal ambitions are currently going head-to-head.
The federal government is absolutely not taking state-level regulation lightly. Take this statement from DOJ Assistant Attorney General Harmeet K. Dillon regarding their intervention against Colorado's AI Act. The DOJ is forcefully arguing that state regulations are unconstitutional. They're contending that these local laws impose ideological frameworks on the technological innovation, and they are moving aggressively to block them.
Now, on paper, Colorado Senate Bill 24205 focuses on requirements designed to prevent algorithmic discrimination and mandate transparency when AI is used in really high-stakes areas, like mortgage lending or job candidate selection. The state argues these are just necessary consumer protections. But the federal government? They're arguing these are illegal burdens on interstate commerce. To fight these state laws, the DOJ's AI Litigation Task Force is throwing a massive legal arsenal into the ring. We're talking the Equal Protection Clause, the Dormant Commerce Clause, federal preemption under the Supremacy Clause, and even the First Amendment to challenge state mandates as compelled speech. This is literally making the federal courts the ultimate testing ground for the future of American industrial policy.
So what does this all mean? Well, it points to a massive paradigm shift. The tech industry is rapidly entering its railroad era. Data centers are no longer just the standard invisible tech assets operating under the radar. Because of their immense physical footprint, they're transitioning into heavily regulated public utilities. They are going to face the exact same intense scrutiny as the power grids and water systems they rely upon.
And that leaves us with one final, really provocative question. Who truly controls the engine of the digital economy? Is it the federal government seeking rapid infrastructure expansion and global AI dominance? Or is it the state and local communities who actually have to manage the physical, environmental, and financial fallout right in their own backyards? The answer to that question will quite literally shape the physical landscape of the future. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep a close eye on your own local zoning board, because the future of AI might just be decided right down your street.